But, Billy Ray, let's spend some time with the San Diego State Athletic Director, Jim Sterk, who's joining us via the Corky's hotline on the Mighty 1090. Jim, good afternoon.
Hello, guys. How are you?
We're doing great. Yourself?
Not too bad. I've been so busy I haven't been able to listen to you in a while.
Wow. Yeah, that's...
Wow, that's disappointing.
Well,
actually, I'm getting the recaps after 8 o'clock, or the 6 o'clock ones, when that starts.
The trending now. Let me ask you, are you aware that the football team has won 6 straight games in conference play?
Not at all, no.
Okay.
Seriously, it's been really, really fun, and great to see, rewarding for, a group of guys, the coaches and the players that have put in the hard work, and it's paying dividends. So it's really exciting time.
The dividends are the last 6 games just blowing them off the field.
Yeah,
they're crushing the opposition.
Yeah, holding teams to barely over 100 yards and running backs that are second in the nation or something in rushing and holding them to 60 or 40 yards. It's a really they're playing really well. The exciting part is it looks like we'll have a lot of those same folks back and possibly even Maxwell Smith, quarterback. We're petitioning for his 6th year. He had a couple surgeries while he was at Kentucky, so the prognosis for next year is very exciting.
Yeah, although, we were talking to Maxwell Smith yesterday, and he goes, look, yeah, we are appealing to get me a 6th year of eligibility, but even if we get it, I'm not really sure I'm going to take it. And we kept saying to him, well, why? What else might you do? I'm not really sure. And I kind of was reading between the lines that he was thinking, if I had a chance to go to the NFL, I'd probably just go and take my chances in the NFL. So he was not committing to San Diego State if, in fact, he does receive that 6 year of eligibility. Are you guys aware of that, Jim?
Yeah, I think he would want to evaluate it, but I think it would benefit him. We'll see how the NFL ranks him or rates him, and he would be meeting with Rocky, and then they decide. I
got to be honest with you, though. I listen, this is being selfish. I'd rather see him go, and the only reason is I know he would be a 6th year quarterback and a mature kid and everything else. Rocky Long is ready to flip the switch to a spread offense. He's got a quarterback on this roster now. I don't remember the kid's name. He's from Texas. He's got this kid Lucas Johnson coming in from what's the high school Mount Carmel. He's got spread quarterbacks now in his system, and he's ready to make the switch to a spread offense. Now, he probably won't do it until after Donnell Pumphrey is gone.
Right.
So maybe that's why they want Maxwell Smith back for one more year. But I'm so ready to see Rocky give these spread quarterbacks a chance to see what it would look like.
Yeah, Christian Chapman that's in the program right now is that kind of quarterback. He could do both. I think he's a lot more mobile than Maxwell. So, whichever way they go. But I think they're having great success right now. They've got it dialed in as far as with Pumphrey and Maxwell and the rest as far as the offense. So I think if they can maintain that and build upon it, I think they'll want to do that next year.
All right, Jim Sterk, the athletic director at San Diego State. Jim, talk us through the possibility of San Diego State's football team hosting the Mountain West Conference Championship game at Qualcomm on December 5th. And if they do, what happens to the San Diego State USD basketball game that day at Petco Park?
Yeah, so right now we're leading in the composite polls, and actually we had a Mountain West conference AD call today, and talked about that and why there are 4 polls instead of the 6 that the BCS used, and actually it was kind of mutually dropped the last 2 because they couldn't turn around the formula and do the work overnight, basically during the night, so that Sunday morning by 8 o'clock we would know who would be the highest ranked team. Both us and the American Conference and Conference USA are utilizing the 4 polls that we do. So those polls are going to determine who hosts, who is the highest ranked from either the Mountain Division or the West Division. And if we win out, we have a great chance of doing that. If we stumble and lose one, then it looks like, and if Air Force wins both, then they could host, or possibly if Boise wins and beats Air Force this Friday, then they could host. So we probably won't know till that Sunday morning, after that final game.
Well, don't try to explain it to the team. Because I know that
Rocky's got that down. Just win at least one more, and we will play in the championship. And then if we win two, we've got a great chance.
Yeah, but Rocky said earlier today on the Darren Smith Show, he senses that even if they win the next two, there's a chance that San Diego State somehow gets screwed in all this, whether it's by Air Force, who winds up beating Boise State, or vice versa, Boise State. In other words, San Diego State might go unbeaten in conference play, and they may have to go on the road for the conference championship against a team that has lost twice. That is a real unfortunate possibility, Jim Sterk.
It is, and we talked about that as ADs of the process, if you will, and the other alternative is looking at head-to-head, which we don't do a complete round robin, so that would
tiebreaker,
not work each year. So this was what we had decided on, and if it needs tweaking in the off season, we plan on actually discussing it in detail in May.
All right. So what happens if San Diego State's football team hosts the Mountain West Conference Championship on December 5th? What happens to the San Diego State USD basketball game at Petco Park?
Well, one, that's a very, very positive problem, and one that we hope occurs because we've got great partners in the Padres and Kai Snyder at USD, and we'll work to the best solution as far as the basketball game. The football game's going to go on no matter what at 4:30 on Saturday, whether it's here in San Diego or whether it's in Colorado Springs or Boise. That game's going to be at 4:30 on ESPN2, and we would want as many people to come as we could possibly have. And so what we'll look for in a solution is whether we move the game earlier during the day. Actually, the Padres have been looking at that. Our preference is to move it to Sunday and play it at 2 o'clock. And the reason we have to play around that time is for that basketball game is we've done the sight lines with the sun and the angles and the shade and sun in the eyes of the basketball players. So we need to keep it around that time. So it's kind of a little inflexible as far as the time goes.
So are you
that's
saying
something we're still working through?
Okay, but let me just understand this. If San Diego State hosts the Mountain West Conference Championship football game,
yes,
then the basketball game has to be moved.
Yes, it'll be either moved earlier, a little bit earlier, or moved to the next day.
And the reason is, A, so fans can go to both, I think, and secondly, because just in terms of San Diego State's resources, you just don't have the bodies to service both events at the same time. Is that right?
Well, we would not. Not our preference is not to, although there's been offered, USD has offered to help, back up our folks and help in that regard, but our preference is to make sure to separate them far enough apart so that people have an opportunity to go to both. And originally, CBS controlled the rights to the championship game, and they gave those up after we had set the basketball time and date, if you will. The game was scheduled to be played at 7:30, which they've done the last couple of years. But they gave up the right, and ESPN jumped on it and set the time at 4:30. So then we knew, I don't know when it was probably in last May or so when we really knew that could be an issue. We made the Padres aware and USD aware that we may need to move the basketball game.
I'll tell you this, the basketball setup at Petco Park, and I've only seen the computer renderings, looks so amazing. The basketball court is set up, Billy Ray, so that it's like the end line is at home plate and the other end line is like at third base. And the way they construct the stands around like between first and second base, I mean, it really, really looks cool. I hope at some point you guys will maybe try and play a football game at Petco Park.
You never know. Down the road, that could happen. But right now, there'd have to be some renovations to Petco to be able to play a football game, but who knows what happens down the road in the stadium round robin.
Yeah, who knows is right. Hey, Jim, great to talk to you. Thanks for all the information, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Jim.
You got it. Jim Sterk.